Ayan, class, can you see the PowerPoint now?
Yes, ma'am.
Kita niyo na ba?
Yes po.
Okay, sige. So, sinimo lang ba nakapanood ng video? Wala bang ibang nakapanood sa inyo? How about the others? Meron bang ibang nakapanood?
Napanood po.
Sige, magtatanong kasi sana ako kung ano yung mga natatandaan ninyong mga topics na diniscuss dun sa video. Okay, sige. Nemo, can you start? Ano ba yung naalala mo na napanood mo sa video?
Uh, it discussed there the actuary. It is the person in charge in
Okay.
assessing risk. It's the one
Okay.
who calculate the premium that it's going to be paid. It
Okay.
also tackled there the pooling, which means sharing of risk, as well with the law of large number, which mean only estimation of losses.
Okay.
Diniscuss din po yung indemnification, which is kung ano yung babayaran na losses. For example, nasunog yung bahay ko. So, babayaran nyo ng insurance. Another
Okay.
thing is the excessive longevity.
Okay.
Tama po ba?
Yeah,
Ito po
tama.
yung pag sobrang tanda na ng tao, which is 95 years old, and then mas ano siya mas ano po siya sa mga insurance kasi mas prone na sa sakit, and at the same time naghahantay nila ng kamatayan.
Okay,
And
okay.
ano pa po ba? Yun lang po yung natatandaan
Sige,
ko.
medyo marami-rami na yung natatandaan mo, Nemo. Okay, sige. Thank you, Nemo.
Thank you po.
About the others, Hazel, ikaw, na ano mo ba? Napanood mo ba yung video?
Yes po.
Sige,
Yung
ano yung mga
natatandaan,
natatandaan mo?
tinakal ko dun yung basic characteristic po ng insurance, yung apat po. Tapos yung characteristic po ng ideally insurable risk. Yung dalawa po. Yung una pong characteristic is yung pooling of losses po. Yun nga po, yung sinishare mo po yung losses, from other dun po sa contributor. Tapos yung sharing of losses po, kino-considered po siya as heart of insurance.
Okay.
Tapos may tinatawag po na premium. Yung premium po, yun po yung amount na binabayad ng mga insurer.
Okay.
Yan.
Okay.
Tapos, tapos yung exposure units po, yung unit of measurement na ginagamit ng mga insurance company para po makalculate yung premium nila, ay yung premium po, then yung law of large number, yung mathematical foundation ng insurance company, then yun nga po yung actuary, yung person na in charge to assess the risk. Tapos yung pagbe-base po nila sa pag-predict po, pag-assess po ng risk is based po dun sa prediction ng statistic po. Tapos parang yung statistic po na ginagamit nila is yung probability po sa sa statistics.
Okay.
Tapos yung pangalawa po is yung payment of fortuitous losses. Yung fortuitous loss po, yung losses caused by acts of God or yung mga unforeseen po or yung mga unknown events. Tapos yung tinatanggap lang po nung mga ng insurance, yung mga insurable risk lang po is yung pure risk.
Yes.
Yung pure risk lang po yung mga unforeseen. Tapos yung 3 po is yung risk transfer, yung main purpose nga po ng insurance is to transfer po yung risk from a third party po yung insurance company. Tapos yun nga po yung indemnification, yung pagbabayad ng insurance.
Okay. Okay, very good, Hazel. Ang dami mong na-share, no? Kayong dalawa ni Nemo. Basically, yun yung nilalaman nung video na yon, yung mga sinabi ninyong dalawa ni Nemo. Okay, so from there, yung huling topic na diniscuss is yung characteristics of an ideally insurable risk. There are 6 characteristics, and in that video, yung last part niya, yung huling discussion, was about yung dalawang unang characteristics, which is yung large number of exposure units. And then another characteristics is that yung accidental and unintentional loss. Okay, yun nga, yung sabi ni Hazel at ni Nemo kanina, no? Yung exposure units, no? Isang term yan na ginagamit sa insurance, no? Kaya nga sabi ko, gusto ko napanood niyo sana yung video para alam niyo yung ibig sabihin ng mga sinabi nila Nemo na yung tsaka ni Hazel na yung exposure unit, yung law of large numbers, no? Yung exposure unit, no, it measures the extent of the potential loss that the insurance company may have to cover. Yan yung parang ginagamit na unit of measurement ng mga insurance companies. And yun nga, no, it is based on the law of large numbers. Okay, yung law of large numbers, it is the mathematical foundation of insurance companies. Okay, it is used to predict, yung law of large numbers, it is used to predict the risk of loss or claims of some participants so that the premium can be calculated properly. And then na-mention din yung term na actuary. No, si actuary, siya yung tao dun sa insurance who looks at losses that happened in the past so that he can be able to predict future losses. Siya din yung nag-a-assess, si actuary din yung nag-a-assess ng risk profile ng isang tao in order to be able to calculate the premium that will be paid by the insured person. Okay, kung natatandaan ninyo yung premium kasi yung premium, yun yung amount na binabayad sa insurance company ng taong insured. And then, nade-determine yung amount ng premium based on the risk profile of the person. Kung natatandaan ninyo, di ba, may mga profession kasi, let's say for example, pagdating sa profession, may mga dangerous, hazardous profession. Since the risk involved there is very high, it just follows that the premium that will be paid by the person insured is also high. 'Di ba? Or yung sa age din, 'di ba? It's also one of the factors that is considered, 'di ba? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, if you are planning to get an insurance policy for yourself in the future, mas maigi yung bata pa kayo kasi mas mababa pa yung premium compared to an older person. Let's say for example, kung age ko na nasa 55 na ako, mataas na rin yung premium na babayaran ko considering my health condition. Katulad ko, hypertensive ako, 'di ba? Anytime pwede akong magkasakit, ma-ospital. So mataas na yung risk ko. Okay? At it just follows na mataas na rin yung premium na babayaran ko. Okay? So yan yung first requirement. And then yung second requirement or second characteristic of an ideally insurable risk is that yung the loss should be accidental and unintentional. Okay, the loss, yan ang isa sa pinaka-importanting requirement The loss should be accidental and unintentional, no? And outside of the control of the person who is insured. Okay, so yun, a delivery cost loss is not a random event. Okay, so pag yung mga ganyan, hindi yan babayaran ng insurance company. Okay, dapat ang cost ng loss should be accidental and unintentional. Plus, na-discuss ko ba last time yung suicide? Nabigay ko bang example yan last time?
No po, ma'am.
Hindi pa nila discuss. So let's say for example, class, kasi yun nga, one of the requirements is that the loss should be accidental and unintentional. No, what if the cause of death is suicide? Let's say may isang tao na meron siyang policy, no, insured siya. No, meron siyang insurance policy. What if the cause of death is suicide? Sa tingin niyo ba, babayaran siya ng insurance company or yung mga, namatay siya, syempre yung beneficiaries na yung makakatanggap ng proceeds nung manggagaling sa insurance. Sige, Nemo, do you want to say something?
Yes po. As
Sige.
we all know that insurance is being used with fortuitous event, but
Okay.
According to my research, according to Rebecca Chantel and Amanda Shi, a life insurance expert, they said that life insurance can cover suicide. However,
Okay.
meron lang po siyang span of years that should be covered. It's like
Right.
2 years po ata to be fully
Tama.
claimed.
That's right, Nemo.
Yun lang po.
Oo, thank you.
po.
Thank you, Nemo. Hazel, may idadagdag ka?
Yes po. May nabasa po akong article kanina. Yes, sometimes po kasi may mga insurance company po na hindi po nila sinasama. Tapos may mga insurance company naman po sinasama. Tapos meron po doon parang the insurance code RA 10607 na sinasabi nga po doon yung 2 years then pag yung state of insanity po yung cause nung yun nga po kasi yung depression, parang isa na rin po siya sa main problem ng death po ng mga kaya sinasama na rin po siya. Tapos may
Okay.
suicide inclusion period po na tinatawag sa mga company.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Hazel. Okay, so tama yung sinabi ni Nemo at ni Hazel. Ano, actually, yung pagdating sa suicide, no, hindi lahat ng insurance companies merong provision about suicide. Meron kasing sinusunod na parang mga yung insurance code of the Philippines. Yan yung fina-follow ng lahat or yung mga sinusunod na mga policies, rules and regulations as far as insurance is concerned. Nung araw, no, bago-bago pa lang yung insurance code na yan, wala silang provision when it comes to suicide. No, pero nung na-amend or na-revise na yung insurance code, nagkaroon ng provision about suicide, no? Meron silang tinatawag na suicide exclusion provision. Okay, na yung 2 years. No, dapat 2 years ka ng parang may waiting period na 2 years if you are a policy holder. I think ang Sun Life meron silang ganyan. I'm not sure. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin nung suicide exclusion provision, let's say for example, no, may isang tao, no, pangalan natin siyang Lisa, no, si Lisa, meron siyang policy, no, na insurance, meron siyang life insurance policy. And then ayun, nag-suicide siya. 'Di ba? Let's say kung more than 2 years na siyang policy holder, no? Merong ibang insurance companies na merong suicide provision na babayaran yung beneficiaries niya. Siyempre, hindi na siya yung makakatanggap. Halimbawa, namatay siya from suicide, no? Ang makakatanggap na lang ng proceeds from the insurance company is Lisa's beneficiaries. Let's say, for example, if Lisa is single and her beneficiaries are her parents, yung parents niya yung makakatanggap ng pera from the insurance company. Okay, pero meron yun nga no, yung 2-year exclusion period. Let's say for example, policy holder si Lisa, pero wala pa siyang 1 taon na policy holder at nag-commit siya ng suicide. No, hindi siya babayaran ng insurance company kung merong suicide clause doon sa kanyang policy. Okay, so yon. Usually kasi class, most insurance companies rarely cover mental illness. No, ang sabi kasi ng mga insurance companies, ang mental illness can easily be faked. 'Di ba? Ang suicide kasi nagagawa yan it's because of mental illness. Do you agree? Kasi class, wala namang tao na nasa matinong pag-iisip ang magko-commit ng suicide. Do you agree, class?
Yes, ma'am. Yes
You
po.
agree,
Yes po.
di ba? Normally, it is suicide happens because of depression and other mental illnesses. Di ba? Pero yun nga lang it's just unfortunate that most insurance companies do not cover mental illness. No, pero dapat nga kasama yan kasi yung mental health natin, it's part of our overall health di ba? Kaya lang yun yung dahilan nila madali daw i-fake ang mental illness. Okay, so yun ang pagdating sa suicide, no, may mga insurance companies na nagko-cover niyan. And I think Sun Life has a suicide provision kasi naalala ko doon sa dati kong school, no, sa Assumption College San Lorenzo, meron kaming group life insurance diyan each of us, pagka-faculty ka, we are insured for 1 million pesos. Meron kaming life insurance. Ngayon, nung pine-present sa amin yung mga inclusions, yung coverage ng policy, meron kaming inattendan na orientation. I remember the person from Sun Life said that yung merong suicide meron silang suicide provision doon sa life insurance policy namin. Parang sabi nga niya, parang 1 year nga lang ata, hindi 2 years Na alimbawa kung more than 1 year na kaming policy holder at suicide yung cause of death namin, babayaran nila yung aming mga beneficiaries. Okay, but then again, not all insurance companies has a suicide exclusion provision. Okay, is that clear, class? Klaro ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay, sige. Okay, so yun na, no? In-explain ko na rin yung dalawang characteristics ng ideally insurable risk kasi dun tumigil last time in discussion dun sa video. So now we go to the third requirement or the third characteristic of an ideally insurable risk, which is it should be determinable and measurable. Can you please help me read the definition in the PowerPoint? Basa lang. Any volunteers, please? Class, babasahin lang yung yung definition. Sige, Jonathan.
A third requirement is that the loss should be both determinable and measurable. This means the loss should be definite as to cost, time, place, and amount. Life
Okay.
insurance in most cases meets this requirement easily.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Okay, so that's the third requirement or the third characteristic of an ideally insurable risk. Okay, it should be determinable and measurable. So basically, what this means is that the insurer or the insurance company must be able to explicitly identify the loss and be able to calculate the extent of the loss. Okay, so the loss must be measurable so that the insurance company would know how much to pay, no? Para alam ng insurance company kung magkano yung ibabayad nila dun sa taong insured. Okay, so yon yung nakalagay nga dito, no? The loss should be definite as far as cost, time, place, and amount are concerned. Okay, and then the cause and time of death can be readily determined in most cases. Diba? Usually naman pagka magki-claim ka ng pera sa insurance company, let's say for example, dahil nga yung ang cause ang death, hihingi naman ng ng mga dokumento yan like yung death certificate. No, normally sa death certificate nakalagay doon kung kailan namatay, anong oras, even the cause of death is indicated in the death certificate. Okay, however, there are some losses which are difficult to determine and measure. Okay, so let's say for example, yung sickness, no, and disability. So these are things that are highly subjective. No, and the same event can affect two persons quite differently. Okay, pag sinabi natin yung yung example dito, yung disability income benefit. Okay, so merong ganyang policy, no, yung usually kino-cover yan ng yung mga health insurance, yung mga accident insurance, yung disability income policy, wherein the insurance company promises to pay a monthly benefit to the insured person, no, in the case of in the event of disability. Okay, so ano ba yung example ng disability na pwedeng mangyari sa isang tao? Halimbawa, naputulan ng paa, 'di ba? Because of an accident. Okay, so kung meron kang accident insurance policy at merong disability provision dun sa accident insurance mo that just in case you become disabled and kasi yung disability income, ang purpose niyan is to replace your lost income. Right? So yung let's say yun nga no, example ko naputulan ng paa. No, maari kasi because of that disability, halimbawa nagtatrabaho ka tapos naputulan ka ng paa. No, you may not be able to return to work anymore. Kaya ang purpose ng disability income policy na yan is to cover for the lost income. No, meron kang parang monthly pension dun sa insurance company. It's as if dahil nga wala ka ng trabaho, parang yung insurance company na yung magpapasweldo sa'yo. No, not really sweldo, pero at least meron kang nare-receive na monthly income no, dahil nga hindi ka na ulit nakabalik sa trabaho mo. Okay, so yung sabi kasi nila, yun nga, yung may mga, yung sickness, no, tsaka yung injury, isa yan sa mga kadalasan na nagiging kaso yung pagdating sa mga insurance fraud. No, may mga tao kasing ganyan yung halimbawa, they may fake an injury or an illness so that they can get money from the insurance company. Okay, kaya nga dapat pagka yung mga claims, no, yung mga taong insured, no, if you are going to make a claim from the insurance company, it should always be in good faith. Pag sinabi nating in good faith, dapat your intention should always be honest, no, and there is no parang unfair parang treatment dun sa insurance company, kasi maraming gumagawa niyan maraming mga fraud cases just to be able to collect money from the insurance company. Okay, so yan, lahat naman ng mga claims, no, iniimbestigahan naman yan ng insurance company. Hindi naman sila right there and then pag nag-claim ka, babayaran ka nila kaagad. Of course, there is a process involved. Yun nga, no, magkakaroon pa ng investigation kasi maaaring baka sinadya lang, no, or hindi naman pala totoong nagkasakit or hindi naman pala totoong nagka-injury. So lahat yan, iimbestigahan lahat yan ng insurance company. Okay, so going back to my earlier example, dun sa disability income policy. Let's say, for example, meron kasing binigay na example dito, no, yung case ng dalawang accountants. No, there are two accountants in this case who are insured under the disability income policy. Okay, so let's say, for example, in separate events, no, these accountants may be injured, no, because of an automobile accident, no, because of a car accident. So yung isang accountant, no, and then both were classified as totally disabled by the insurance company. However, yung isang accountant, let's call him accountant A, no, after rehabilitation and after treatment, he was able to return to work. Okay, so yun parang nag-umpisa na yung disability income niya nung na-evaluate na siya ng insurance company as totally disabled. But eventually, gumaling si accountant A at nakabalik din siya sa trabaho. Okay, so what will happen now to the disability income that accountant A has been receiving from the insurance company? Ipagpapatuloy pa ba ni insurance company yon or hindi na? Anyone? Can you still hear me, class?
Yes po, ma'am.
Sige, ano sa tingin ninyo? Ipapagpatuloy pa ba ni insurance company yung kanyang benefit? Tapos sige, bigay ko yung scenario ng isa si accountant B. No, so si accountant B na-evaluate din siya, na-classify na din siya as totally disabled. No, and then he was not able to return to work anymore because of that disability. Okay, so yon, it's obvious na patuloy pa rin yung disability income na natatanggap niya sa insurance company kasi hindi na talaga siya nakabalik sa trabaho But what about accountant A? Will he still continue to receive the disability income benefit from the insurance company? Yes, Via.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ano po, hindi na po.
Hindi na.
Yes, ma'am. Ano
Hindi
sabi po
na.
kasi, sabi po dito, if that accountant undergoes rehabilitation and returns to work, disability income benefits will terminate. Siyempre
Okay.
po, yung purpose po kasi nung insurance is para po dun sa sickness and disability. Which is hindi na po siya disabled. So, terminate na po yung insurance. Yun lang po.
Okay. Thank you, Via. Okay, mataterminate na yung benefit niya. Diba, remember the purpose of the disability income benefit is to replace the lost income. Diba? Kaso nakabalik na siya sa trabaho So, which means na if accountant A has already returned to work, edi sabihin nakakasweldo na siya. Okay? Kaya nga yung mga ganyan, pwede kasing paano malalaman ni insurance company na gumaling na pala si accountant A at saka nakabalik na sa trabaho. Merong shinare na isang actual experience yung isang student ko from my other section. So meron daw siyang kakilala na ganyan din yung nangyari, no, na disable, tapos tumatanggap ng disability income benefit from the insurance company kasi at some point hindi na siya talaga nakabalik sa trabaho. Pero gumaling siya pero hindi niya ni-report sa insurance company na gumaling na siya. Actually, nung gumaling nga siya from her disability, nakapag-abroad pa siya. No? So, ang tumatanggap, no, kasi usually naman, pagka yung mga ganyang mga pera na pinapadala na insurance, usually pumapasok na lang yan sa bank account eh. Dun sa bank account nung insured person. No? So, nakapag-abroad pa yung tao na yon. At yung pamilya niya na naiwan dito sa Pilipinas, siguro iniwan na lang niya yung kanyang ATM or yung kanyang passbook, whatever. Sila yung tumatanggap ng pera from the insurance company. Ang kaso, nag-random check. Nag-random check daw yung insurance company. No? Nagpunta sa bahay nila at nalaman na wala na siya doon. At nag-abroad na siya. Okay, so what do you think happened? Medyo ibibitin ko yung kwento. Anong tingin niyo ang ginawa ng insurance company nung nalaman na wala na dun yung taong pinapadalhan nila ng pera? Yes, Nemo?
It's only a wild guess, ma'am, but I think besides from terminating the giving of money monthly, they filed a lawsuit.
Okay. Okay, they filed a lawsuit. No? Yon, thank you, Nemo. So actually, ang nangyari daw, no, based on the kwento of my student, tinigil na yung pagpapadala ng disability income. Pero maswerte yung taong insured na yon kasi hindi na nag-file ng lawsuit yung insurance company. Okay, parang sinabi na tulong na lang sa kanya yon dahil syempre nung mga panahong na disable siya, talaga namang nagpapagamot siya noon or bumibili ng mga gamot, things like that. No, maswerte na lang na mabait yung insurance company at hindi na siya kinasuhan. Okay, pero yun nga, itinigil na yung kanyang disability income benefit. Kaya nga klase, no, you have to remember, no, if in case in the future, magkakaroon kayo ng insurance policy, no, dapat yun, you should always make your claim from the insurance company in good faith. No, yung talagang honest intention, yung hindi mo talaga sila lolokohin kasi for all you know, ikaw pa ang kakasuhan ng insurance company. Okay, so yan yung ibig sabihin na determinable and measurable loss. Is it clear, class? Am I making sense to you? Naintindihan ba?
Yes
po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay, good. So may isang example pa pala dito, no? Nakalimutan ko, may isa pa palang example, no, dun sa determinable and measurable loss. Okay, so meron din tayong tinatawag na homeowners insurance or property insurance, no? Let's say for example, yung sa property insurance ang naka-insure yung bahay mo. Kung comprehensive, no, if the coverage of your property insurance is comprehensive, it also includes, no, yung mga kasama dun sa insurance, yung mga valuables na nandun sa loob ng bahay mo. Okay, let's say for example, yung jewelry. Yun, yung mga mahalagang bagay, no? Pero dito sa example natin, ang binigay dito na valuable is yung fur coat. You know what a fur coat is, class? Yung mga ginagamit ng mga babae, especially pagka yung winter season sa ibang bansa. Diba? So, mamahalin din kasi yan eh. Mahal din yung mga yan. May value din. Okay, so, it says here, it makes a great deal of difference. No, ayun, si Shannon, no? Si Shannon yung ating subject dito. And then, she has an expensive fur coat that is also covered under her insurance policy. Yun nga, meron siyang homeowners insurance policy. Okay, so it says here, it makes a great deal of difference to the insurance company. Let's say, for example, no, If a thief breaks into the house of Shannon at ninakaw yung fur coat, okay, ibabayaran ba si Shannon ng insurance company? Nanakaw yung fur coat niya sa loob ng bahay? Will the insurance company indemnify her? What do you think? Yes, how about the others?
Yes
Na ano
po.
pa yata kayo? Babayaran siya ng insurance company, no? Kasi sa loob ng bahay nangyari eh. 'Di ba? At saka naka-insure yung mga yun nga, yung mga valuables doon sa loob ng bahay. Whereas, no, if in case the coat got lost, no, let's say for example, inutusan ni Shannon yung husband niya, dadalhin yung fur coat sa salon for dry cleaning. Tapos na nakalimutan na ni husband nakuhanin yung coat. At nakalimutan niya rin sabihin kay Shannon na kunin yung fur coat. And then siguro matagal nang nandun yung fur coat, hindi na talaga naalala. And then eventually nawala siya. Will the insurance company pay for the loss of the fur coat? Yes? What do you
No.
think?
Hindi po.
Hindi
No.
na. Hindi na. 'Di ba? First of all, the loss was due to negligence. 'Di ba? At saka pangalawa, wala naman na sa loob ng bahay yung kanyang fur coat, eh, hindi naman doon nawala. No, nawala siya doon sa dry cleaning establishment. Okay, so yun, that's another example. And then the fourth requirement of an ideally insurable risk, no, yung no catastrophic loss, no. Can someone please help me read the definition in the PowerPoint? Anyone? Shaira, sige, please. Shaira, go ahead.
No catastrophic loss. The fourth requirement is that ideally the loss should not be catastrophic. This means that a large proportion of exposure units should not incur losses at the same time. As we stated earlier, pulling in the essence of insurance.
Okay, thank you, Shaira. Okay, so this is the fourth requirement or the fourth characteristic of an ideally insurable risk. No, the loss should not be catastrophic. So pag sinabi natin catastrophic, a large proportion of exposure units should not incur losses at the same time. Okay? Alam niyo, class, as much as possible, ayaw ng mga insurance companies ang catastrophic loss. Why do you think so? Pag sinabi natin kasing catastrophe pala, anong pumapasok sa isip ninyo? Or anong naiintindihan ninyo from the word catastrophe or catastrophic? Nemo?
It's the major loss po.
Yeah, it's a major loss. Okay? Jonathan, ikaw, anong ibig sabihin ng catastrophe or catastrophic?
Mga damages po due to natural disasters po, ma'am.
Okay, damages at hindi lang basta damages kundi malaking damage, no, pag sinabi nating catastrophe. Okay, so yun, no, at a catastrophic event could imperil insurance company, the solvency of insurance companies. No, kasi yun nga you can just imagine, you must remember, class, that an insurance company is also a business. Right? Negosyo din yan eh. So, as a business, they would not want to suffer losses also, di ba? Kasi, kaya ka nga nagne-negosyo eh, kasi gusto mong kumita. No, yun, tandaan niyo yun, ang insurance company is just like any other business who does not want to suffer losses. Okay, so, maaari kasing mangyari, no, na yung yun nga sabi dito, dapat yung mga exposure units should not incur losses at the same time kasi medyo parang maliit din naman talaga yung probability. Let's say for example sa sunog, 'di ba? All at the same time lahat ng mga exposure units or yung lahat ng mga taong merong fire insurance sabay-sabay na sunog yung bahay nila. 'Di ba? But in cases of other catastrophe like yung mga bagyo, 'di ba? Lalo na sa Amerika, no, uso doon yung mga, alam niyo yung term na hurricane or yung tornado, Yung hurricane specifically, uso yan sa Amerika, 'di ba? Hindi lang basta bagyo kasi pag nag-hurricane sila, kung alam niyo yung Hurricane Katrina, no, hindi ko na lang matandaan kung saan state nangyari yun eh. Halos na wipe out lahat ng bahay dun sa area na yun because of the intensity and magnitude of that hurricane. Okay, so isipin nyo na lang kung lahat ng bahay dun sa state na yon eh naka-insure, no? At babayaran sila ng insurance company. What do you think is going to happen to the insurance company kung babayaran niya lahat ng mga bahay na naka-insure dun sa area na yon? No, malulugi sila for sure. 'Di ba? Baka nga hindi pa kayanin nung lahat ng pondo ng insurance company yung ibabayad nila for those losses. Okay, so yan yan yung ibig sabihin ng catastrophic loss. Dapat as much as possible, ayaw ng insurance company yung mga catastrophic losses na yan. No? Also, it says here that if most or all of the exposure units simultaneously incur a loss, then the pooling technique breaks down and become unworkable. Yun yung sinabi natin kanina, yun yung nabanggit dun sa lecture last time, yung pooling of losses. Kaya bumababa actually yung losses na nai-incur ng isang taong insured kasi he or she shares the losses with other people. Okay, kaya nga mas madaming exposure units, much better on the part of the insurance company. Okay, so however, hindi naman talaga, imposible naman na totally ma-avoid ng mga insurance companies yung catastrophic losses. Okay, kasi in reality, nangyayari naman talaga yung mga catastrophic losses na yan, lalo na yung mga baha. Okay, yung mga typhoon, storm, earthquakes, even yung forest fires. Familiar ba kayo sa forest fire class? Common yan sa US sa Australia, Indonesia, parang nagaganyan din sila. Familiar ba kayo dyan,
po,
class?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Diba? Merong particular time of the year, maybe especially during summer, na nagkakaroon ng forest fire. Diba? So what if your property is near a forest? Diba? So talagang it is very likely na madadaan. Kasi may mga cases na ganyan I'm not sure if it's in the US or Australia. No, kasi dyan common na nangyayari yung mga forest fires. So what if your house is near a forest? And then talagang every year nagkakaroon ng mga forest fire dun sa area na yan. Okay, so yun hindi natin mapipigilan na hindi mangyari yung mga catastrophic losses na yan. Because most of these are yung mga acts of God, natural disasters. Talagang mangyayari at mangyayari yan. No? Even acts of terrorism, by the way, are included in under catastrophic losses. No? Alam niyo naman siguro yung mga terrorist acts. 'Di ba? Katulad nung nangyari sa Marawi. Right? Hanggang ngayon, nagre-recover pa ang Marawi. It's still undergoing rehabilitation sa tindi ng ginawa ng mga terorista dun sa lugar nila. Diba? Kung makikita niyo yung mga right after the siege, kung makikita niyo yung mga bahay doon, talagang wasak-wasak na talaga. Diba? Wasak-wasak na talaga. So kung halimbawa naka-insure yung mga bahay doon, at na-damage yung property nila because of acts of terrorism, babayaran sila ng insurance company. Okay, so ano ba ang pwedeng gawin? What can the insurance company do so that they will not be able to suffer that much when it comes to catastrophic losses? Yung unang-unang pwede na lang gawin is yung reinsurance. Okay, so pag sinabi nating reinsurance in simple terms, it's insurance for insurance companies. 'Di ba? Insurance company na sila pero magpapa-insure pa din sila from another insurance company. Okay, so ano sa tingin ninyo? Bakit nila gagawin 'yon? Yun nga no, para hindi nila i-shoulder alone yung mga losses especially when it comes to catastrophic losses. Kasi yun nga ang purpose ng insurance 'di ba? To transfer the risk to a third party. Okay, so yun ang tawag ng yun ang aim ng reinsurance. It is an arrangement by which the primary insurer that initially writes the insurance transfers to another insurer who is the reinsurer. Does that make sense, class? Naintindihan ba?
Yes,
Yes
ma'am.
Yes po.
Kasi
Yes
yun na sabi ko nga sa inyo ang insurance company is also a business. As such, it should also be able, just like any other business, it should also be able to manage its risk or to manage its losses. No, so to be able to manage the risk, nagpapa-insure din sila sa ibang insurance company. Okay, so yun, just in case of catastrophic loss, no, the reinsurer or the third-party insurance company will parang shoulder part or even all of the potential losses associated with insurance. Okay, so yan. Nagpapa-insure din sila sa ibang insurance company. And then another way, no, insurers or the insurance company can also avoid the concentration of risk by dispersing their coverage over a large geographical area. Okay? Meron kasing mga areas, no, especially sa Philippines. Let's say, for example, ang Batanes. Diba? Alam niyo ba yung lugar na Batanes? Very prone yan sa mga very prone yan sa mga bagyo. Diba? Halos kahit yata hindi rainy season, bumabagyo diyan no? Because of its yung kanyang geographic location. Kaya ang mga bahay diyan, no, kung nakakita na kayo nakapanood na kayo ng mga video or kahit mga pictures, lahat ng mga bahay diyan yari sa bato. Kasi nga lagi silang binabagyo. Okay, ang Japan din, di ba? Do you know that Japan is an earthquake-prone country? Alam niyo ba yon, class?
Yes,
Kaya
po,
halos araw-araw dyan sa Japan, may lindol dyan. No, ang mga tao dyan, trained na kung ano ang gagawin in the event of an earthquake. Kasi very common yan sa bansa nila. Okay, so yun, if the loss exposure are geographically dispersed, the possibility of a catastrophic loss is reduced. No, isa yan sa mga pwedeng gawin ng isang insurance company. No, wag magko-concentrate sa isang area lang. Dapat naka-disperse yung kanyang coverage over a large geographical area. So that's the second. And then finally, no, ano pa yung pwedeng gawin ng isang insurance company to avoid catastrophic losses? No, yung alam niyo ba yung bonds? Class, yung financial instrument, yung bonds, BOND, na take up niyo ba? I know you're an HR major, pero meron ba kayong mga subjects in the past, no, na yung mga business subjects niyo na discuss niyo yung mga financial instruments na yan, like bonds? Meron na ba, class? Or nung senior high? Wala niyo, hindi kayo nag-discuss ng mga ganyan? Hindi kayo familiar? Yung bonds, anyone? Daniel, alam mo ba yung bonds?
Ma'am, diniscuss po namin yun ng senior pero nakalimutan ko na po.
Nakalimutan mo na. Okay, sige. So just to refresh your memory, no, meron kasing mga tinatawag na catastrophe bonds. Okay, which are designed to help fund catastrophic losses. Pero bago tayo pumunta dun sa catastrophic bonds, no, i-refresh ko lang yung memory nyo just in case na i-discuss na sa inyo before pero hindi nyo na matandaan. Yung bonds is an example of a financial instrument. Okay, it's actually a fixed income financial instrument. Normally, ang nagbebenta niyan sa public, yung mga bonds, no, corporations and government. Especially sa government, no, very common na ginagawa nila yan. Naririnig niyo ba yung mga terms na treasury bonds or treasury bills? Naririnig niyo ba yan?
Yes
Class?
po, ma'am.
Baka nababasa-basa nyo yan, ano, sa newspaper, sa internet. No, let's say for example, in the case of government. No, if the government wants to have additional funds, no, let's say for example, to finance an infrastructure project. No, kasi minsan hindi naman talaga sapat yung pondo ng gobyerno para sa mga projects nila. So one of the ways to have additional funds or have additional income is to sell bonds to the public. Okay, so yan yung mga example ng bonds, yung mga treasury bills, treasury bonds. Okay, binebenta nila yan sa publiko. May mga bumibili talaga niyan, may mga tao talaga nag-i-invest sa funds. So how does it work? Okay, so sabi ko nga, financial instrument yan. Merong parang mga, ano yan may parang certificate, no, or proof na, yun nga, yung mga bonds na yon. Meron ding maturity date yan. May mga face amount din yan. Okay, so let's say for example, bumili ka ng treasury bond sa government. Let's say for example, in the amount of 50,000 pesos. And then meron siyang maturity date na 1 month. Okay, so after 1 month, nag-mature na yung treasury bonds mo na 50,000, babayaran ka na ng gobyerno with interest. With interest. Siyempre, hindi ka naman bibili ng bonds kung hindi kikita yung pera mo di ba? Kaya binabayaran ng government yan. No, yung principal amount plus interest. Usually, malalaki yung mga interest ng mga bonds na ganyan. No, at saka safe din siya kasi government yung nagbebenta no, parang it's impossible that they would default on payments, no? So safe na safe na investment 'yan. Okay, so that's how it works. So ganun din yung sa catastrophe bonds. No, yun nga, as a corporation, especially yung mga reinsurers. Diba? Kasi mabigat yung nila yun nga, naka-insure yung insurance company sa kanila. Diba? They would need an additional, they would need large funds in order to cover losses just in case may mga mangyaring mga catastrophe. No, so one way of obtaining additional income is to sell catastrophe bonds to the public. Okay, so ganun din, parang yung ganun din yung proseso. No, pag nagbenta sila, no, let's say for example, 50,000 pesos yung amount yung face amount ng catastrophe bonds. Pagka binayaran nila yon dun sa taong bumili, no, babayaran nila yung principal amount na 50,000 plus interest. Okay, so parang it's as if parang merong pautang na nangyayari. No, so merong creditor at saka merong debtor. No, so ang debtor diyan yung government kasi parang lumalabas na hinihiram lang niya yung pera doon sa taong bumibili ng bond. 'Di ba? Tapos babayaran niya with corresponding interest. Okay, does that make sense, class?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Naiintindihan ba? Okay, good. Okay, so the fifth requirement, no? Tapos na tayo dun sa yung fourth requirement na no catastrophic loss. The fifth requirement of an ideally insurable risk is calculable chance of loss. Can I please ask someone to read the definition on the screen? Anyone, please? Sige, Daniel.
Calculable chance of loss. Fifth requirement is that the chance of loss should be calculable. The insurer must be able to calculate both the average frequency and the average severity of future losses with some accuracy. This requirement is necessary so that a proper premium can be charged that is sufficient to pay all claims and expenses and yields a profit during the policy period.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so yan yung calculable chance of loss. no, the insurance company, ibig sabihin yan, the insurance company must be able to calculate both the average frequency, no, kung gaano kadalas pwedeng mangyari yung loss or yung risk na yon, and the average severity of future losses. Pag sinabi nating severity, we refer to impact. Okay, so this requirement is necessary so that the insurance company can determine the proper premium to be charged to the person. 'Di ba? To the insured person. Yun yung sinabi ko kanina, no? Yung premium, maraming factors yan eh. Maraming factors ang pinagbabasihan in order to calculate the premium or the amount that the insured person will pay to the insurance company. 'Di ba? Hindi pare-pareho, class, ha? Hindi pare-pareho ang premium, yung amount ng premium na binabayad sa insurance company. Kasi maraming mga factors nga na kino-consider eh, like yung age, 'di ba? Napag-usapan na natin diyan, yung nature of the profession, yung health condition ng tao, no? So let's say for example, kung pareho kayong nagpa-insure, no? Pareho kayong 21 years old, no, it does not necessarily mean that na dahil pareho yung age ninyo, pareho din yung amount ng premium na ibabayad ninyo dun sa insurance company, 'di ba? Kasi yung isang 21 years old, no, maaring healthy siya, wala siyang sakit, no, maayos yung kanyang health condition. So mababa din yung premium na babayaran niya dun sa insurance company compared to the other 21-year-old person, no, na kahit bata pa pero ang dami ng sakit, 'di ba? Nangyayari na talaga yan ngayon eh, no? Yung mga kabataan, yung mga batang kagaya ninyo, nagkaka-hypertension na, nagkaka-diabetes, no? Pwedeng hereditary yung sakit pero pwede din sa lifestyle. 'Di ba? Let's say for example, kung alimbawa din yung isang 21-year-old is smoker siya, yung isa naman non-smoker. 'Di ba? So, syempre mas prone sa sakit yung 21-year-old na smoker. Okay, so ganun din sa pagbabayad nung dun sa indemnification din in case of losses. 'Di ba? So kino-compute base din 'yan kasi dun sa yung ibabayad ng insurance company in case of loss, babase din yan dun sa average frequency ng risk and then dun sa average severity, no, yung impact ng risk na yon. So yon, no, maraming mga factors na tinitignan yung insurance company in order to calculate the proper premium, pati din yung sa mga yung indemnification na binabayad nila pagka nagki-claim na yung taong insured. Okay? So, however, there are certain losses that are difficult to insure because the chance of loss cannot be accurately estimated. No, for example, yung mga catastrophic losses, no? Ito example nito, yung mga floods, wars, cyclical unemployment, no, katulad nung nangyayari ngayon, ang employment status natin ngayon nakabase din kung anong quarantine status natin eh. Pagka nag-EECQ, kung napapansin niyo, maraming nawawalan ng trabaho dahil hindi na sila pinapapasok ng mga companies nila. Pero pagka nagre-revert to a lower quarantine status, katulad ngayon, naka-GCQ tayo, pero sabi nga nila with heightened restrictions, di parang sana hindi na lang binago yung MECQ, di ba? Pero in general, marami na ring taong nakabalik sa trabaho ngayon GCQ. Yun nga very unpredictable yung ating ngayon, yung ating cyclical unemployment. Okay, so pagka ganito, the insurance company, if a loss is difficult to estimate or it cannot be accurately estimated, no, especially in cases of catastrophic losses like yung mga floods, wars, the insurance company might need the help of the government. Okay, kasi yun nga usually ang government na assess naman nila yung mga losses na yan, yung mga damages, di ba? Pagka nanonood tayo ng news, at saka merong isang bagyong dumating, di ba? Minsan meron silang sinasabi na 2 billion worth of parang property, no, na-assess nila yan, yung mga damages na yan. So, in these cases, the insurance company might need the assistance of the government. Okay, class, malinaw ba yung calculable chance of loss? Is it clear to everybody?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, good. So the last characteristic, no, of an ideally insurable risk is economically feasible premium. Can you please help me read, class? Any volunteers? Pabasa lang please nung nakalagay sa PowerPoint. About the others, yung hindi pa nagre-recite, sino pa ba yung iba? Hindi pa nagre-recite? Sige, Miss Pinto. Miss Pinto.
Hello po.
Sige, go ahead.
Economically feasible premium. A final requirement is that the premium should be economically feasible. The insured must be able to afford the premium. In addition, for the insurance to be an attractive purchase, the premium paid must be substantially less than the face value or amount of the policy. To have an economically feasible premium, the chance of loss must be relatively low. One view is that if the chance of loss exceeds 40%, the cost of the policy will exceed the amount that the insurer must pay under the contract.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Miss Pinto. Siguro class, by now, alam nila kung ibig sabihin ng premium, di ba? Yan yung amount na ibinabayad ng taong insured sa insurance company. Okay, so one of the requirements or one of the characteristics of an ideally insurable risk is that the premium should be economically feasible. So when we say economically feasible, it means that the insured must be able to afford the premium. Okay, so in the future, let's say for example, kung kayo nagtatrabaho na kayo and then you decide to get an insurance policy for yourself, dapat talagang ilagay ninyo yung commitment ninyo sa pagbabayad ng premium. Okay, sa pagbabayad ng premium. Kasi kung hindi ninyo regularly nababayaran yung premium ninyo, magla-lapse yung inyong insurance policy. When we say lapse, it means that it will no longer be effective. Kasi hindi mo na siya nahuhulugan or hindi mo na siya nababayaran. Okay, so normally, maliit lang naman yung premium na ibinabayad. But then again, just like what I've said earlier, the premium that you are going to pay, will depend on many factors. Depende kung magkano yung ika-calculate ni actuary dun sa insurance company, based on factors like age, yung profession, or yung health condition. Okay? Pero usually naman, yung mga premiums na ibinabayad is less than the face value or the face amount of the policy. So kung yung pag sinabi nating face value, yun yung amount ng insurance policy na kukunin mo. Let's say, for example, you get a life insurance policy for yourself, with an amount of 1 million. Yung 1 million na yun yung tinatawag na face value. That is the amount of your policy. Okay, so hindi mo naman kailangan bayaran ng cash yung 1 million na yon. Kasi pagka nag-apply ka ng insurance, dun sa application form, meron ka namang option doon kung paano mo siya babayaran. It can be on a monthly basis, pwede ring quarterly, pwedeng semi-annually, pwedeng annually. Depende kung ano yung kaya mong terms, So usually monthly ang ginagamit ng iba para hindi mabigat. 'Di ba? Pero syempre, mas makakatipid ka kung babayaran mo siya on a yearly basis. 'Di ba? Mas makakatipid ka. Pero yun nga, syempre pagka yearly, sabihin once a year ka lang magbabayad, 'di ba? Compared to monthly na 12 times ka lang magbabayad. So, mas madalas kinukuha nila yung mga ganyang terms of payment, yung monthly or quarterly. Tsaka yun nga, no, the premium that you are going to pay, let's say for example on a monthly basis, is definitely lower than the face amount or the face value of your policy. And also, to have an economically feasible premium, the chance of loss must be relatively low. Diba? As I've said earlier, binabase yung premium dun sa chance of loss or dun sa frequency of loss. Right? So, ayun, kung mas mataas yung frequency, syempre mas mataas din yung mas mataas din or mas mataas yung risk, mas mataas din yung premium na babayarin niyo dun sa insurance company. Okay, so yun, most market risk, financial risk, production risk, and political risk are difficult to insure by private insurers or by private insurance companies. Okay, kasi itong mga risk na binanggit ko sa na sinabi dito, these are examples of speculative risk. Okay, kung napanood ninyo yung video, may binanggit doon na pure risk. No, I think na-mention yan ni Ms. Cablaw. Ang mga ini-insure lang kasi ng insurance company, yung pure risk. Okay, pagka pure risk, ang outcome niyan, no, it's either loss or no loss. Pero pagka speculative, no, yung pagka sinabi nating speculative risk, it involves the possibility of a loss or a gain. Diba? Let's say for example, yung pure risk sa car insurance or sa automobile insurance. Okay? Kung insured yung iyong sasakyan, let's say yung kotse mo, no, meron siyang car insurance, no? So if your car does not meet an accident, no? Walang loss yun dun sa insurance company. Diba? Walang loss yun dun sa insurance company. But if your car meets an accident, may loss yun dun sa insurance company kasi babayaran niya yung damages, no? The damages that occurred from that car accident. Okay? So yon, loss or no loss. Pero pag sinabi nating speculative yung risk, no, normally insurance companies do not cover speculative risk. Ang speculative risk kasi it involves involves the possibility of either a loss or a gain. 'Di ba? Parang sa stock market, no? Alam niyo yung stock market, class? Class, do you know what the stock market is?
Yes po.
Diba, yung stock, ano din yan, yung stocks financial instrument din yan, katulad ng bonds. Diba, sa stock market kasi pwede kang malugi or pwede kang kumita. Diba, yan, so say for example, bibili ka ng stock sa Jollibee or sa Ayala Corporation, diba? Pagka sa stock market kasi, there is a possibility of loss or gain. Okay, so yun yung, ay, class, wait lang ha. Wait lang. Ay, salamat. Thank you. Sorry class, may kumatok sa pinto. Okay, so ano ba yung sabi dito? Potential of each risk is produce a catastrophic loss that is great, which is especially true for political risks, such as the risk of war. Finally, calculation of a proper premium may be difficult because the chance of loss cannot be accurately estimated. Okay, so yon, in cases of war, right? So mahirap ding mag-calculate ng ano dyan, mahirap mag-calculate dyan ng proper premium kasi the chance of loss cannot be accurately estimated. Okay, so yun, basically yun lang yung ibig sabihin ng economically feasible risk, no, that the insured person must be able to afford the premium. Okay, so para mas madali ninyong maintindihan yung 6 na characteristics na yon, I have 2 examples here. No, yung risk of fire and unemployment. I-apply natin yung 6 na characteristics na pinag-usapan natin. Pero let's just take this example, yung the risk of fire. No, yung isang example, yung risk of unemployment, you just go over it no after our class kasi we don't have much time. Kailangan pa nating i-discuss yung inyong research paper. Okay, so ito no, risk of fire as an insurable risk. Does the risk of fire satisfy all of the 6 requirements that we have just discussed? Okay, so yung number 1 requirement, yung large number of exposure units. No, so yes, it says here, yes, it satisfies that requirement. There are numerous exposure units. So normally, marami namang kumukuha talaga ng mga fire insurance. No, especially yung mga merong malalaking bahay, 'di ba? Katulad ng mga nasa mga exclusive villages, subdivision, kagaya ng Forbes Park. 'Di ba? Malalaki yung mga bahay diyan. So I'm sure may mga may mga fire insurance 'yan. And then yung number 2 requirement, accidental and unintentional loss. So usually naman ang fire, 'di ba? Most fire losses are accidental and unintentional. Pwera na lang kung ang kaso ay yung arson. Are you familiar with the term arson, class? Alam niyo bang ibig sabihin nun? Class? Are you familiar with the term arson?
Yes.
Sinong nakakaalam na ibig sabihin ng arson?
Ano po siya, ma'am? It's a criminal act relating with setting fire into an establishment or property.
Yes, exactly. No, pero sinadya. No, sinadya yung pagkakasunog. No, yung Star City, alam niyo ba yung nangyari sa Star City few years ago, yung nasunog?
Yes
Alam
po.
niyo ba
Yes,
yun?
ma'am.
Oo, no, meron
Sabi po sadya daw po yun.
yun nga yun yung ibabanggitin ko nga, no. There have been rumors going around, no, na intentional yung pagkakasunog doon sa Star City para makaklaim doon sa insurance company at makakuha sila ng pera para magpagawa sila ng bagong establishment kasi medyo luma na rin yung Star City, no. So anyway, if in case mapatunayan, no, kasi meron namang mga proper investigation yan. So just in case, no, during the investigation, it will be found out na talagang arson, no, or sinadya yung pagkakasunog ng Star City. Hindi sila kung just in case na naka-insure yon, no, hindi sila babayaran ng insurance company, and worse, the insurance company might even file a lawsuit against them. Kasi fraudulent claim yun eh. 'Di ba? Hindi naman talaga siya nasunog. Okay? Pero yun, no, in most cases, fire losses are unintentional and accidental. Okay? And then yung third requirement, no, the risk of fire fulfill this requirement, yung determinable and measurable loss. Okay? So na-assess naman yan yung mga damages na yan in cases of fire. 'Di ba? Na-assess naman 'yun. Usually yung mga bumbero nga alam na nila na meron silang assessment, no, or estimate kung magkano yung damages nung sunog na 'yon. And then no catastrophic loss, no. Yes, it also fulfills that requirement. Although catastrophic fires have occurred, all exposure units normally do not burn at the same time. No, so hindi naman siguro lahat ng mga merong fire insurance sabay-sabay na masusunugan. 'Di ba? Hindi naman yung medyo maliit naman yung chance na pwedeng mangyari 'yon, except siguro pagka yun nga no, yung sabi natin kanina, yung mga forest fire, yung wildfire. And then yung calculable chance of loss, yes, the chance of fire can be calculated and the average severity of fire loss can be estimated in advance. Yun, katulad dun sa mga forest fire. 'Di ba? I'm sure dahil nga common occurrence yan dun sa area na yon, ano, the frequency may be calculated and also the severity of the impact of that fire can also be calculated. And then lastly, yung economically feasible premium, no, yes, it also satisfies the requirement. No, although itong example ko kasi class, kinuha ko siya from an American book, kaya ang binigay na example dito na premium rate ng fire insurance is $100, which is relatively low. Mababa na sa kanila yon. No, so $100 kung convert natin sa peso yan, no, if the conversion is 50 pesos is to $1, nasa 5,000 yan. Pero I really have no idea kung magkano yung premium na binabayad, no, just in case let's say your house is covered by fire insurance, because that would also depend on the amount of your property. 'Di ba? Katulad halimbawa sa Forbes Park, malalaki yung mga bahay diyan. No, I'm sure may mga fire insurance 'yan, at I'm sure mahal din yung premium na binabayad nila dun sa insurance company. Dahil nga, malaki din yung value ng kanilang property. Okay, naintindihan ba, class, yung itong example na to based on the 6 characteristics? Naintindihan
Yes
ba?
po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Shaira, you were raising your hand earlier. May gusto ka bang sabihin?
Napindot lang po.
Napindot lang. Okay, sige. So, ayun class, mabilisan lang kasi kailangan, baka may mga questions pa kayo dun sa research paper ninyo. So, before we discuss your research paper, class, can you please share with us, with the whole class, what your key takeaways are from our discussion today? Yes, Nemo.
One famous quote stated that do something today that your future self will thank you for. Well, in insurance, it is an essential investment for everyone, especially to the eldest child like me. And after listening
Okay.
to the discussion today, I now have clearer vision on what insurance and how does it work. And my favorite
Okay.
key takeaways for today's topic is having good faith in availing insurance to avoid dispute and legal problems.
Okay.
Moreover, it says a lot about you kasi po ma'am as a person. And I also realized today na insurance is a good defensive game plan in life.
Mm-mm. Okay. Thank you, Nemo. Do you plan to get one for yourself in the future?
Yes po ma'am. Since malaki po yung age gap namin ng mga kapatid ko, I guess
Oo.
kailangan
Mm-mm.
ko po siya.
Oo. Tsaka talagang no, now that you are kahit somehow may awareness na kayo about insurance, 'di ba? Baka mas ma-encourage kayo ngayon to get one for yourself in the future when you can already afford to buy one for yourself, no? And even maybe for your family. Okay, thank you, Nemo. How about the others? I hope meron naman kayong natutunan, ha? Haba ng discussion natin sa insurance, parang pang third session na natin to. Tas to be continued pa next week dahil yung mga types of insurance naman. Sino pang nagre-raise ng hand? Meron ako nakita kanina pero biglang nawala. How about the others? Yung mga hindi pa nagre-resign, matatapos na ang semester, yung iba sa inyo, hindi ko pa naririnig ang boses. Howell Tandoy, are you there? Mr. Tandoy? Howell?
Yes, ma'am.
Howell, are you there? So sige ha, I'm sure nakinig ka naman sa lecture magmula kanina. What are your key takeaways?
Yung importance na insurance. Marami siyang benefits, ma'am. So,
Okay.
yung hindi naman siya kamahalan pag gumawa ng insurance.
Okay.
Pag yung sakuna, malaki yung benefits niya, malaki yung kalaban niya.
Okay. Sige, thank you, Howell. L'Oreal, were you raising your hand also? L'Oreal?
Yes.
Sige, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. My key
morning.
takeaway for today po is about the importance of understanding and knowing how insurance works. Kasi
Okay.
po alam naman po natin na there are many unforeseen tragedies such as illness, injuries, or permanent disability, or
Okay.
even death na
Okay.
pwede pong sa'yo and sa family mo ng facing emotional stress and even grief. So parang mas mabuti po talaga na mapaghandaan mo po kung ano man po yung mga possible na mangyari para po hindi na siya maging stress sa'yo and even sa family mo po. Yun po, ma'am.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, L'Oreal. Miss Via, are you raising your hand also?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, sige, go ahead.
Yung key takeaway ko po, yung pinaka favorite ko po dito is yung sa suicidal inclusion provision po.
Okay.
Kasi po, I was happy po to know na meron pong ganun ngayon.
Okay.
Kasi po, when my family member, my closest friend, and even my best friend po, may mga mental illness like anxiety po.
Okay.
So, nakikita ko po sila kung paano po mag-react doon sa situation at kung paano po sila mag-breakdown.
Okay.
Sana po lahat po ng insurance company ay mayroon pong suicidal inclusion provision kasi po sa panahon ngayon marami pong nagkakaroon ng depression kasi po sa pandemic din po sa sobrang stress at sobrang pressure ng mga situation.
Right.
Sabi po sa statistic na kada isang tao na tumataas po yung case ng suicidal events po dito sa atin sa bansa natin.
Okay.
Sobra pong dapat na pag-usapan yung gantong case kasi po para din po maging aware yung lahat.
Okay.
Yun lang po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Via. Okay, thank you, Via. Yon, sana magkaroon ng na ganyan, yung talagang isama yung mental health. Kasi yun nga, nabanggit ko kanina, most insurance companies do not cover mental health. Kahit sa mga health insurance, actually, class, yung mga health card, they do not also cover mental health, So let's say, for example, kasi yun nga yung pagka meron kang mental health issues, kailangan mo magpakonsulta sa psychiatrist din for medication, di ba? Or sa psychologist. So unfortunately, yung mga health insurance companies natin, hindi nila talaga kino-cover yan. So dapat talagang pag-anuhan yan pag-aralan yan ng mga mambabatas natin. Kasi ang mental health is also part of our overall health as a person, right? Hindi naman physical lang dapat yung pinagtutuunan natin kasi ang pag-iisip, yung mental health, parte rin yan ng ating overall health. Sana yan, pag-aralan yan ng mabuti ng mga mambabatas para natutulungan naman din natin yung mga taong merong yung mga mental health related problems. Okay, thank you, Via. Thank you. Miss Ebora, do you want to say something? And for me, Ebora.
Yes po, ma'am.
Sige, go ahead.
Yes po, ma'am.
Sige, go ahead.
For me po, this discussion po made me realize na insurance is really important to our life, especially kahit pa paano po may inaasahan po tayo kapag may nangyari po sa atin.
Tama.
And sana nga po, I hope sa mga insurance company na ay makover na po ang mental health since this is really a big issue po not just here in our country but also po in other country. Dahil marami na rin po naaapektuhan po nito at for me po I think the mental health is really parang hindi po siya expected na pangyayari po. Kaya sana po makover na po ito ng mga insurance.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Miss Ebora. Meron pa ba, class? Meron pa bang gustong mag-share? Kasi kung wala na, discuss na natin yung research paper ninyo. Kung wala na mag-share ng key takeaways. Okay, so kung na-share na sa inyo ni Nemo yung tatlong files, yung file ng cover page, yung outline, yung outline na susundan ninyo, pati yung cover page, very simple lang. Kasi iniisip ko nga din yung mga limitations ninyo, as far as yung typing the research paper is concerned. Lahat ba kayo may laptop? Are you typing your research paper from your laptop? Kasi naiisip ko, baka yung iba, cellphone lang din ang ginamit. Kaya hindi ko na masyadong binonggahan yung cover page. Meron kasing nagpo-propose na medyo parang medyo lagyan ng mga konting arte-arte yung cover page. Pero yun nga kasi yung concern ko yung limitations niyo. Lahat ba kayo tinatype niyo yan from a laptop o merong gumagamit ng cellphone lang? Yes.
May mga gumagamit po ng cellphone.
Cellphone lang?
Yes po,
Yes
mas
po,
dominant
ma'am.
po sa block namin yung may cellphone. That's why po yung mga may laptop, may added burden po sila because they are the one who
Okay.
are compiling the
Mm.
things po.
O yun nga eh. Kung makikita nga nyo kasi yung outline at saka yung ano, simpleng-simple lang. No? Anyway, sabi ko, hindi naman yung cover page ang babasahin ko, kundi yung content ng inyong paper. No? Kaya simpleng-simple lang yun. May questions ba kayo dun sa outline? Meron ba kayong
Super ma'am,
questions? Wala
super
naman.
ma'am naman po kasi
Oo.
po sobrang well
Simple lang
explained po
di
niya.
ba? Simple lang naman
Yes
kasi
po.
siya. Unang-una, hindi naman ito thesis, hindi naman ito full-blown research paper. No? I call it a mini research paper only. Dun sa number of pages, class, sabi kasi, if I'm not mistaken, ang limit ko sa inyo is 15 pages. No? Pero that does not include the cover page and yung references part. No? So yung body ng research paper ninyo, ang limit is 15 pages. Meron ba kayong problema dyan? Kasi from my other section last night, may mga grupo na sumobra sila ng 15 pages. Sabi nila, nag-18 pages na daw sila. No, how about in your case, class? Meron na bang sumobra ng 15 pages or kung di pa kayo tapos, anong estimate ninyo? So, sobra ba kayo ng 15 pages o sakto lang yung 15 pages?
Ma'am, may block reach.
Ma'am, sobra
Yung
po.
sa akin po 17.
17.
Sa amin po, nasa 18 na rin po.
Nasa 18. Kaya sabi ko nga, kasi class, ayoko rin naman, kino-consider ko naman din yung no, kasi 7 section kayo at kung sobrang haba niyan, mahihirapan ako talagang mag-check dyan dahil babasahin ko lahat yan di ba? So sabi ko na lang, mag-a-announce ako sa FB na ang gagawin kong limit, maximum number of pages is 20. No, so yung 20 na yon hindi pa kasama dun yung cover page at saka yung references. Talagang yung body lang yon. So is that okay with you, class, if I if I make the limit up to 20 pages?
Yes po.
Yes
po, ma'am.
Okay na yun, ha?
Yes po.
Kasi pag susobra pa ng 20, pare-pareho tayong mahihirapan doon. Ha? So yun, i-announce ko na lang na yung maximum number of pages is 20. Ano pa ba? Just to remind everyone, kasi baka yung iba nakalimutan na or hindi naman binasa yung mga instructions na in-upload ko sa Google Classroom. The final research paper will be submitted to me through email. Na, di ba? I remember discussing that with you. The group leader will be the one to send the final research paper to me by email. Okay, yung email address ko nandoon naman dun sa mga naunang PowerPoint, no, yung ersantos@rtu.edu.ph. Okay, so yon yung group leader na lang ang magpapadala. And then yung date ng submission, as of now, I do not know yet the schedule of our final exams. Alam niyo na ba, class? Kayo ba nasabihan na kayo? Kasi ako wala pa akong Ang alam ko lang next week, no, yung week of May 24 up to May 30, yan yung finals week ng mga graduating students. Pero yung mga undergrad, wala pa akong schedule, pero ina-assume ko no na after next week, yun na yung ating finals. Okay, so yun, let's just play it by ear. Kung anong week yung i-announce na finals week, no, yun yung magiging parang week ng submission natin ng research paper. Is that understood, class? I-announce ko na lang sa inyo yung specific date kung meron na ako nung schedule. Okay, is that clear, class?
Yes po.
Yes
Klaro
po,
yun
ma'am.
sa
Clear
lahat?
po.
And then, meron din akong ipapadalang peer evaluation, ha? Yung form na sasagutan ninyong lahat, no? Para alam ko kung sino yung mga talagang nag-contribute, yung hindi nag-contribute, no? So far, meron ba kayong problemang ganyan sa klase ninyo, yung hindi nagko-contribute sa research paper? May mga problema ba kayong ganyan so far?
Wala naman po.
Magkakaalaman na lang yan sa peer evaluation, ha? Kasi don't worry, kasi ako lang naman yung makakabasa nun. No? Kasi yun, do sa peer evaluation, you will be evaluating your group members. Okay? So yun class, kung wala na kayong questions, I guess this is it for the day. Okay, magbibigay na lang ako ng quiz, no, yung based from our discussion on part 1 of insurance. So hindi pa natin i-cover yung part 2, yung types of insurance kasi next week pa lang natin i-discuss yan. Okay, so with that, thank you class for attending this morning. Okay, you may have your breakfast now kung hindi pa kayo nakapag-almusal. And then you stay safe always. Okay, happy weekend. God bless everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Ingat
Thank
po
you,
kayo.
ma'am. God bless
Thank
po.
you, ma'am. Thank you, class.